everybody. I was going to do a formal lecture today, but I decided not to. I realized this morning that today is the 21st anniversary of my interviewing for the job, which I was offered 3 days later. At that point, it was the last day of the semester, and everybody was really sick, and one of my former colleagues fell asleep during my job talk, so I thought there was no way I was going to be offered the job. But the dean, when we still had deans, called me up Monday morning and offered me the job. It took me a couple of days to decide. I had been offered another, I think it was a 3-year position. It was a really cool position, but this one was tenure track, and I was excited about teaching at a small, at that point, a very small liberal arts public college in a place I had never lived before, and so I accepted the job. I had been teaching for 2 years when I took the job, but still new in the profession. And what I hoped for was groups of students like you. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I've said this before. This has been one of the best classes I've ever had. I know it changed a lot after the coronavirus arrived and after we had to go virtual, but I don't think I will ever forget that first half semester, this first week or so when we were crowded in that tiny little room, and then after that, you showing up with your curiosity and your questions and your desire to engage in the question of vast early America. I have really appreciated it. In my now 22 years of teaching, this is the end of my 22nd year of teaching, I could never have imagined this semester. I never could have imagined much. I knew that teaching was hard for me and that I really had to work at it and really had to be super prepared to do it well. I had had one really good experience and some pretty good experiences before I arrived here, but I never could have imagined this semester. I also could never have imagined the changes that I experienced in institutional structure and some of the other things that happened. I could never imagine that year where 2 of my beloved colleagues were fired without any good reason. That was probably, up until this point, the hardest semester that I had faced, the hardest year that I had faced. It was hard for me even to go to school those days. I hope that despite all the changes that you got something out of this semester. I know that I did. I've been really excited by the material. As I told you, I hadn't taught this course in a really long time, and the field had changed so tremendously. But I found, particularly having the ability to learn alongside you, to introduce new concepts not just to you, but also to myself, it really was a tremendous experience for me. I wish we could have stayed in the classroom. I wish that this stupid virus hadn't spread throughout the world. I wish that we could have continued on. We would have been tired of each other in different ways by this time if we had stayed in campus. But I've really appreciated all of you, and all of you who continue to show up in your various ways, send me emails, or show up on Zoom, or communicate with me. I'm just so glad when I get to see you, even if it's an altered way, or I get to communicate with you on email. So I will see some of you on Monday on Zoom. I hope that you all have a tremendous weekend, as much as we can these days, that you get out and enjoy the beautiful weather, that you have some food that you enjoy, that you have a conversation with someone who means the world to you. And I'm going to stop this before I really start to bawl. So thank you very much. I will see you next week. As always, email me. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Bye.